Alright guys, welcome back. In today's video, I wanted to quickly go over this. It's this sPOD Bantam X. Now, if you haven't heard about sPOD before, they've been around for quite some time and they have my favorite switch panel out there on the market. Now, if you don't know what a switch panel is, it's pretty much a power management system allowing you to wire multiple accessories or lights to one location, making wiring super simple and super clean. Alright, so they do have two different models. One is the Bantam X, which is 8 circuits, and then the Source LT, which is 6 circuits. So I decided to get the 8 circuit panel, obviously to have more switches, and I wanted to get the touchscreen version. So they do have a touchscreen and also a physical button panel as well. Included in the box is the switch panel touchscreen or the physical button one. Then you do have the main power management system, which I'll go over here in a second. This is the single wire that runs from the box to the switch panel. Some wire loom. Then these are the stickers for the physical switch panel button. And then you get some heat shrink, extra fuses and connectors. Then a bracket for the switch panel itself. So this is the main control unit here. It's about the size of two iPhones side by side, and then this is just a metal cover that you unscrew it here to access the inside. Now inside, sPOD did a great job about keeping everything super simple and straightforward. These are the positive and negative cables that run straight to your battery. Then on each side, you're gonna have 8 terminal blocks. One's gonna be for positive and one's gonna be for negative. So whatever accessory you're gonna wire up, you just run the wires through this little flap here, and that helps keep dust and debris from getting inside. You also have this little switch panel here, which are called dip switches, and this allows you to pair with Bluetooth, disable sleep mode, and also troubleshoot the system. Down here is a little input terminal block. This allows you to activate any of the switches through an external source. Then down below here are two Ethernet cable inputs. So one of them is the wire that you wire the switch panel to the system, but you do have two because you can also run two different switch panels to one system. Underneath, this is where you're gonna mount the unit to wherever you choose to. If you do wanna drill 4 different holes, sPOD does include a template to make the drilling a lot easier. And most people do mount the unit above the fuse box here, but I'm actually gonna mount it behind the fuse box with the bracket that I already have. All right, so I do have everything mounted in now. The LCD screen is mounted to a ram mount ball on the A-pillar. Now this is just temporary because I'm not really too sure where I wanna put it exactly, but the main unit, the Bantam X, is inside the engine bay. So I do have it on a bracket that I mentioned before I used to have. And inside I mounted it to switch 1, the fog lights, and then the Ethernet cable that runs inside. So I have it on the stock fog lights, the Baja design squadron fog lights. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the LCD screen now. All right, so this is the home page of the unit. To turn it off, you just click off and then you touch anywhere on the screen to turn it back on. Then you do have a on and off-road button. So if it is on the on-road position, then you can't do things like flash and strobe. But if you keep it in the off-road position, then you can do things like that. Then you have all 8 switches on here. So, 1, 2, 3. And then you can also do things like setup, which is right there. Then you have the temperature of the main board, which is on the main unit. Then you have the voltage of your battery as well. So you can turn it on just by simply tapping it. And it is pressure sensitive, not like an iPhone, you just touch it. So you do have to apply a little bit of pressure in order to click the actual button. So let's go ahead and go through the setup. First thing is we want to go ahead and label switch 1 to be fog. So we're going to go ahead and do that by deleting the first name, and we're going to rename it as fog. Now let me see if I can do this. So now I changed it to fog, and then I click save, and then now it'll be labeled fog. So you can actually name it whatever you want. So that's a cool thing about having the touchscreen version, is that you can name it to whatever you'd like to do. So now let's go ahead and go into the features of the switch 1. So you go to switch features here, and then you do have labels like dimmable, momentary, strobe, and flash. So dimmable is kind of cool because if you click dimmable, go back to the switch. Now when you do click fog 1 or a switch, you will get a percentage menu here, or a slide bar, and what this does is that it dims the actual light, so you can run at 1% all the way to 100. So for you guys who love to run your Baja designs at nighttime or daytime, you should probably run it down low. It does tell you the amp of the light, so you can see that it does go down as you dim it, and it goes up. So it does tell you the reading of the amps that it is pulling for that specific switch. So let's go ahead and go into the other features. Now you have dimmable, and you can run dimmable in these other 3 as well. So if you want to do momentary, what that does is that, what momentary does is obviously you just have to click it, and if you let go, it just turns it right off. So you can just quickly press it and it'll just turn off and on. So you got that. And then you do have strobe. So this is the strobe feature that's pretty common. You run it, you can turn on the fog light, and then to run the strobe, you just click strobe here, and then it strobes the actual, light. So that's a pretty common feature that people do like, especially for like chase lights and stuff. So you can click that off and then turn off the light. Now we can go to the flash. So if you do go to flash, same thing, it's going to be in the bottom, and the flash is just a simple flash, kind of like the hazards, so those turn on as well. But you also have things like on here as like the screen unlock to pair Bluetooth. You can also change the intensity of the screen. So right now I have it on 100%. So especially at nighttime, if it's too bright, you can always turn the intensity down of the backlight, and you can turn it down and up. You also can run a timer for 10 minutes or however long for the screen to turn off, I believe. That way it's not, wasting any battery, because this is connected straight to your battery, so you do have to worry about that. So down here you can run more Bantam X units, so you can run a total of 4 on one switch. So that's kind of cool. So if you have a ton of different accessories, you could probably do that too as well. So you do have a switch linking feature here. So if you wanted to just click the first switch and turn on all 4 switches at one time, you can do that by linking all the switches. So when you click just the first switch, they all turn on at one time. So I don't have anything hooked up to any of these, so nothing's gonna come on, but that's a pretty cool feature too as well. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. If you want to know more about this unit, I'm gonna link it down below, and thanks for watching.